What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, this is where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the past week. Last week, when I was editing, I screwed up and didn't export the intro portion of the news, which was a bummer because it was episode 369, and I sang a little of a Little John song, I think. Actually, I'm glad you missed it, because that's embarrassing. Anyway, if you enjoy the news regularly, hit the like button, and let's jump into this week's episode. First for this week, in the world of interesting, irregular RCs, we've got a new 1/8 scale go-kart available from Saxo Racing. This is a pretty basic, fairly inexpensive kit. Comes with speed control, servo, motor, but it is a kit version. Comes in a few different colors, red, blue, black. Anyway, it's kind of fun. I like to go, there's been go-karts made from several people over the years, electric and gas. I don't know. This one looked fun, fairly inexpensive, $199. There's two versions. There's a regular version and then there's a pro. They're only $10 difference. And from what I can gather, the only difference between the two is that the pro comes with a battery. But if you're interested, they show the amount available, and there was not a ton available. I had to order one because it's kind of cool and a weird kit. So why not? Looked like fun. If you want to have one of these weird little things too, you can find a link down in the description below, and I'll put links to all the stories that we talk about today down there as well. Next, something new from the Element side. This is a factory team set of steel portal covers for their portal axles. The portal axles you can get under a couple or a few of their platforms out of the box, or you can buy their portal axle sets. We haven't seen a lot of new releases or new part items from Element in some time. So seeing some movement over there, not too bad. These, as I mentioned, are steel, not brass. Steel still has a great density, not quite the same weight as brass as far as density goes, but steel has its benefits in a lot of ways. Either way, interesting to see that they, a new release from them at least, because like I said, we haven't seen much from the Element side of things in quite some time. And I think that's because everyone over there has been so busy re-releasing RC10s, like the new RC10 Masami edition 1989 stealth car kit. It's gonna make some sort of foot joke. I don't know. You got a foot thing? I don't know. This is the version that you may remember from Masami driving the car with his feet on a stick radio, if you're into vintage RCs. I am not, as you probably have gathered over the many episodes of me talking about another and another and another re-release of RC10s. But here's another one. Maybe this is your thing. Not trying to judge. Vanquish Products just released some new 2.2 brass inner clamp rings. These fit any of the 2.2 wheels that are 0.8 or 1.2 inches wide. There's two options. When you go on the site, you just need to find out what version your wheel uses. So just make sure you pay attention to the width if you're ordering. Next, finally, the 1/6 scale Porsche 934 is available for order. This is a collaborative effort, it appears, between Primal RC and Traction Hobbies. Now, we've seen a number of cars from both of these places, but never a collaboration effort between them. Primal, mainly, I would think, known for the large scale monster trucks that they have, but they also have like some drag cars. They have SRT or Hellcat Challenger as well. And now we've got this one. This is a brushless RTR version available in two different colors. One is an all red, and then the other is this blue and orange Gulf livery. Fully licensed, it's got an interior and a roll cage in there. It's a clipless body system. Again, brushless RTR, kind of rally style. So it sits up a little bit. It's got the rally lights across the front as well. These are pre-order and they're not scheduled to ship until September. Cost on these starts at $850. If you get the Gulf livery, it goes to $875. Now it does say that pre-orders get free shipping in the US, Canada, and the UK. But if you were someone who may have ordered and you went through the checkout process, you will notice that there is still a shipping fee, but it's labeled as shipping protection. So it's not what the cost of shipping would likely be, but it was still like almost 20 bucks, or $18, something like that, for the shipping protection. No option to not pay for that, like if you didn't want the protection. So you have to pay for that. It was just a little weird to me. I'll put a link down below to the Primal website. If you go to the Traction Hobbies website, there is a landing page for it. But on that page, there is no ability to buy there. There is only links to a couple of emails where you can email people from there. Not really sure why, if they want everyone to just order from Primal or what, but there wasn't any information linking from that page over to Primal either. So I don't know, a little bit odd on that front, but nonetheless, we've been looking at this car at teasers for like 2 years. So at least you can finally order it, and we have a date and when we may see it. This Wednesday, the 3rd episode of the Rockabilly Build series will also go live. It's a detailed, in-depth series telling you each step and trick and little catch of that entire build process as it goes. This week's episode will be covering stage 2.1 and stage 3. So if you're interested in that build, watch for that new video as it comes out. Or if you're a channel member, you'll already be able to see this coming week's and the next episode, which are both already up. HPI had another new release, again on the Venture 18 platform. This time, it's a licensed Ford Bronco with the RTR Funhaver livery on there. We've seen the RTR Funhaver of this style a number of times on a number of different platforms. Not always fully licensed, but this time it is. And HPI took, and they are offering this in both the brushed and the Flux brushless version. They did do some configuring of the Venture 18 platform to make it a little bit maybe more appropriate for this type of thing. The battery is located in the back, as well as all of the electronics being shifted more that way. So it's going to have a little bit more of a rear bias to it. It's not going to perform in the rocks as it sits, but it will, be a little less, tendency to like want to go over front. It'll be a little lighter in the front. It is a solid axle front and rear versus like the independent front suspension that the full-size version has, but small differences there. Overall, it looks good. It sells the look of the Funhaver. It's got the rear spare up high and in the back, filling the opening in the backside of that body, just like the full-size version does as well. And just overall, it's got a nice light bar up front, proper branding and all that. Looks pretty good. And the cost on the brushless version is about $239. The brushed version, you can get just a little under $200. And for way less than $200, you can join the channel membership. Segue. Channel membership helps support the channel a little bit extra. You get early access to a number of the videos. You get extra videos as well, kind of behind the scenes, or ones like Afternoons Delight, which are an extension of this show. We talk a little bit about what's going on and kind of ramble about some of the more noteworthy stories of the week. But if you're interested in any more information about that, there's a link down in the description below. And thanks to everybody who helps support the channel a little bit extra. And thanks to everybody who watches the videos no matter what. And this Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, come watch Matt and I as we have Livestream Takeover. Yet again, as always, never fails. You can watch Matt ridicule me about wearing 2 different shoes by accident again, or whatever other probably totally RC related topics come up for the week. Again, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And if you work for an RC company and like to see any of your products on the Scale News Update, shoot me an email to news@harleydesigns.com. Include some photos, a description, and a link to where it'll be able to be found on your website or when it will be able to be found on your website. But love to take a look at it, see if we can get it here on the Scale News. Last week, Axial released a licensed Toyota for the first time, not including the Lexus that they did previously. Now this is on the SCX24 platform, and I did do a release video along with that launch, but it is the first time we've seen a licensed Toyota from them, and this is a 4Runner, a popular choice, and it looks good on the SCX24 platform. It is a hard body like we've seen them do with the Power Wagon and the Bronco and the Lexus. I think that's all of them up to this point, but it looks good. People like Toyotas. It's gonna sell well sitting on the shelves in hobby shops or whatever it is. That's what SCX24s are great for. Or you can pick it up just the body right now as well. Not something we often see. Now, this is being labeled as a Proline hard body, which is interesting on that side of things. While Proline does do injection molding for tires and things like that. I don't think that they're doing plastic injection molding for like hard molded parts in-house. So the use of the Proline name on the body seems a little different than how they have normally done things, assuming that they're not doing that plastic molding injection down in the Banning, California location where, you know, most, like where we assume a lot of the Proline stuff comes from, even though again, they do a good number of stuff outsourced as well. But it was just interesting to see how they kind of co-branded a lot of parts on the SCX24 as far as this goes. The body, the bumpers, the wheels and tires. So they're leaning heavy into that Proline product along with the Axial thing. It's just a little bit different. And as I mentioned, you can just buy that hard body from them in an unpainted or a pre-painted version. And yet another small scale release, Redcat released a brushless version of the Ascent 18 with the Scout 2 body on it. Pretty much the unchanged platform with a brushless system in it for a pretty attractive price. Being brushless and under $200 is noteworthy. The Ascent 18 is a decent platform overall. And again, as long as you're okay with a Scout 2 body. This week, JConcepts had a new release for the Mini LMT. This time they've got a carbon fiber chassis set for that platform. JConcepts, huge in the monster truck stuff of any scale. So seeing them have some option parts for the Mini LMT chassis, it seems very fitting. They've got a bunch of Mini LMT bodies already, and I think they have wheels and tire sets for that platform also. Be interesting to see if they have any other performance part releases coming for that platform in the future also. Reefs RC is expanding their wheel lineup with a new 1.9. The actual functional design of the wheel seems to be the same as their previous 1.9 wheels. This new Crossman is just referring to the new style of the wheel face that they're offering. So if you'd like to check that one out or any of their other styles, there's a link down below. Next, we have another one that's a little different than the norm. This is from ABC Hobbies, and this is the Gunvaid RR. This is a kit version that does come with a body, and it is called, like I said, just Gunvaid RR. I'm not really sure exactly what that refers to, but the body itself does, to me at least, resemble that McMurdy Spirline, something along those lines, which has been popular around the internet for like the last maybe year or two. It's the one that is an electric car, but it also has a fan underneath that has like some like ceramic type plate system to help create more downforce than the whole car weighs. Like they can turn the fan on and they can actually spin the car on a rotisserie and it will keep itself in place while upside down. A wild thing. It's set a bunch of, you know, lap records and things like that. Pretty cool. This doesn't, from any, you know, from the translated page version of this, doesn't seem to nod to the resemblance to this, but maybe I'm off on that as well. But as far as I can tell. Anyway, this is a kit. Does come with a clear body, not the painted version it has. It also comes with different wheels than it shows in the photos. It states in the description that it comes with some white wheels of a different model, not the ones shown in the photos, which is a little weird. But it's also a pretty inexpensive kit, $192 with the current exchange rate for this Japanese kit. So one big bummer is that the platform underneath doesn't bear any resemblance to how the full-size version of this car is built. It would have been cool if this thing had some sort of, you know, gimmicky fan suck down thing, but no luck on that. And this week we also had a new release from Arma, which doesn't fit what we normally talk about, but it's a 1/10 GORGON RTA, which is a ready to assemble kit. Which it makes sense with how it is because it does include everything that you need, including a clear body, but electronics and all of that. And it says that it takes about an hour to assemble. Now, Horizon has done this before, and I can't remember exactly the product line that they had that did it. It was like the amped up or amped edition or something like that. They had it of like one of their lower tier type vehicles, but like sub-assemblies would be pre-installed, but it still gave you that like that assembling your own vehicle kind of feeling, at least for, you know, targeted probably more towards kids or, you know, people trying to get their kids into that building type thing, almost a STEM type program type deal. So it is, I like seeing that. I like seeing that they're pushing that a little bit. Even if it's those kind of like pre-assembled things, it's supposed to be done in an hour, which will likely make things just easier, and battling the short attention span problems that we know exist. I like to see it, especially because also Horizon, we see less and less kits from them in general, and the kits that they do have maybe don't seem to sell as well, so they get heavily discounted, and you just always wonder if we're going to completely lose the battle of having kits offered for popular vehicles, which would be unfortunate because kits are a great experience. And while that does it for this week's news topics, I do want to kind of continue on that. Just a little bit of that like reminiscing type thing. Do you remember the first RC kit you ever assembled? I had to kind of think about it. I couldn't remember for sure at first, but that was because like my first RC, hobby grade RCs that I owned, I had bought used, and I had bought used a number of times before I ended up buying my first new truck, and that was to me a TLT kit. I remember I turned it into a scale truck back in the day with a K23S chassis and a bunch of like Traxxas tie rods for links on this thing, and some HPI Geolanders on some narrowed 2.2 Rustler wheels with a HPI Rubicon body on it. Like, I remember it being a lot of fun. I think I actually did assemble the full TLT kit, even though I knew I was going to tear it down to just use basically the axles as we used to have to do when we built crawlers. We threw everything else away. Everything else was useless to us. But I do remember I assembled it all together and then took it back apart. But because I wanted that kit feeling. A lot of, but technically JIS hardware, not Phillips. Granted, I absolutely assembled it with Phillips tools, but that would have been 2005, maybe 5 or 6. Like I said, my first RCs were before that, but it was all just used stuff, Clodbusters and TXTs back in the day. Let me know what your first kit that you assembled were, and if you can remember. First, like, full new kit. Put your comment down in the comments section. It's the only place you can put them, really. But anyway, that's going to do it for this week's Scale News Update. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching. If you're interested in channel membership, there's a link down below. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the like button. I'm off on my whole ramble. Usually I have those things pretty well dialed. Not so much this week. Whatever. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you on the next one.